creative friends, welcome to my channel, and here we are. It is Pantry Cooking for Two Tuesday, but technically this is not a recipe for two, although two people could eat it and enjoy every minute of it, I'm sure. But what I'm doing here is I have a I just did the video yesterday, the Mix It Up Monday video for the Master Cake Mix, and that turned out perfect because today I have to make a cake to take tomorrow to one of my food preserver. It's a Christmas party, and I'm going to make the chocolate cake using the Master Cake Mix. Now, I had it in this jar, and I have the little cards that I made to go around the basic cake mix, and then there's a yellow cake mix, and then the chocolate cake mix. So I'm going to follow the directions for the chocolate cake mix. And just so that you know, when I made this mix, it made 3 different batches. One batch is a quart jar. So I have which is 4 cups. So I took that out and I put it in here. So it's 4 cups of the cake mix. I took a bag out of the freezer. I'm just going to let it kind of warm up a bit. And then there's a little bit of Crisco right there that I'm going to work in. And then I'm going to put this in the jar and it will be on my shelf ready for the next time. So basically what I have here, I've got my mixer out. Let me see, I'm going to raise you up a little bit. There you go. 4 cups of the Master Cake Mix. This is so simple. 4 cups of the mix, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and a 1/4 cup of hot water, which I'll get in just a second, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/3 cup of oil, 3 eggs. I've already cracked them. They're in this little measuring cup right there, and a cup of milk, and 2 1-ounce squares of baker's chocolate that I've melted and it's cooled. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put the cake mix in my mixing bowl, and I'm going to slowly turn it on and let it go, and I'm going to slowly add everything else, and then I'm going to let it go for 1 minute at low speed, and then I'm going to scrape the sides and let it go for 2 minutes longer until the batter is smooth, and then I'm going to pour it into a baking dish. And the baking dish I'm using, you guys remember the dough-on baking dish that I got. I love this. It's the perfect size. It's nicer looking than putting it in just a clear, baking dish. I think this will add a lot to it, and it looks pretty, and it's going to be fantastic in there. Can you imagine that pretty color blue? Now they've got this in white too. And you guys, this stuff is over on Walmart now. You can order a lot of their products on Walmart. Just type in dough-on, and there's a bunch of good stuff at Walmart too. But I'll put the link in the bottom for the dough-on website. But this is an awesome dish. I love the color. It's going to be great with my chocolate cake. Now I am going to cover this with a beautiful chocolate frosting with a little bit of walnuts chopped up on top of it. So now let me go get my hot water, and I'll come back and we'll put everything in. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I want you to see this pours in really nicely. It's not like flour. It just pours in there just perfect. So we'll get all that in there. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour in the cocoa powder. And then I'm going to turn this guy on low. Oops, got to raise my bowl. Turn it on low. And then I'm going to add the vanilla. And the eggs. Water. And the oil. Oh, I forgot to time it. Alexa, set a timer for 1 minute. I have my little Alexa right here by where I do all my cooking. Now we'll let this go. Now I'm going to add the chocolate. And then I'm going to let it go for a minute. And then I'm going to scrape it and let it go for 2 more minutes. I'm going to turn this off for just a second. I want to get this chocolate off of here and onto the beater. Get that worked in. So I am always very cautious. Now when I melted this chocolate, I put 2 1-ounce cubes in the microwave, and I have a microwave that will set and melt. It will automatically just melt it the right way. But if you don't, you want to do it in short increments of like a minute, or 30 seconds. and then go back and do it for another 30 seconds. It's going to be my scraper. Alexa, stop. Okay, that's been a minute. Alright, now let me scrape this. And then this is going to go for 2 minutes now. Okay, so now give this a good scraping off the bottom. Make sure everything's incorporated. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this back on, and we're going to go for a whole 2 minutes. There we go. Okay. And I will come back to you as soon as 2 minutes has gone by. I did turn the mixer up a little bit. It's not just on the lowest speed. It's a little bit like a medium low. Actually, it's number 2 on my KitchenAid. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here, and then I will get my baking dish. That has been sprayed. I've sprayed it with some non-stick spray. You could also just, you know, butter it or treat it and cover it with a little bit of flour. A little bit of, keep it from getting everything stuck on there. Okay. Now, let me get this out of the way. And I will pour this in, and it will bake for, hang on and I'll tell you. Okay. Get all the cake mix off. I'm excited about this cake. Who's not gets excited about chocolate cake? Okay, there we are. All right, now this is going to go in an oven of 350, which I already have heated up, preheated, and it's going to go for 25 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick in the center comes out clean. Okay, so now let me get this out of the way, and I'm come back and pour this in the pan. Okay, I'm going to pour this in here. Now, this is going to be so good. And then while this is baking, I will make the frosting. I'm going to do the dishes and then make the frosting. That'll give me plenty of time. Okay. There we go. This is so handy when you have these cake mixes. Now I could do a regular cake, a yellow cake, or a chocolate cake from the recipe that's with this. But you know what else I could do if I did a regular cake? I could make it like a spice cake. There's a bunch I could do with it. But this one's just going to be chocolate. It's going to have chocolate frosting with chopped walnuts on top. And that will be just right. Okay. Got everything out of my dish now. Let me get this off here. It's going to be fantastic. All right. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put that in 350 for 25 to 35 minutes, and I'll bring you that back when it's ready. But meanwhile, we're going to make some frosting. Okay, guys, the timer just went off, and so I'm going to take my cake out. And, oh, it looks so good. Okay, there you have it. See that lovely chocolate cake? And I'm going to show you. See it puffed up all nice. Here's the old cake test. Comes out clean. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside and let it cool. And I've got all this stuff out to make the frosting. So I'm going to set this over here. And let me get everything right here for you, and we'll make the frosting. Okay, this is for my chocolate frosting. I will write these ingredients in the description because this is just a recipe. I mean, you can look up chocolate frosting anywhere, but this is just what I do. Okay, I've got 1/3 cup of butter right here. 2/3 cup of the cocoa powder. 2 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. 1/3 cup of milk. And a teaspoon of vanilla that I just kind of poured with I measured with my eyeballs on that. I didn't actually really measure it. But now what I'm going to do, some people will do this over a low heat in a pan. I'm just going to microwave this and melt it. And then I'm going to put the cocoa powder in there and mix it with my mixer or with my little hand beater. And so I'm going to get this melted, and then I'm going to come back and I'll do the rest. All right, I've got this melted, and now what I'm going to mix in is the cocoa powder. I'm going to stick this on here. And then once this is mixed in real nice, I'm going to start adding the other ingredients, just kind of alternating them in there. But I always just throw the vanilla in first. Okay. Now I'm going to show you. See the consistency of that? It's nice and thick. See that? Almost like a pudding. Okay, so now we're going to start mixing in a little bit of the powdered sugar. And I'll just let this sit, and when the cake is cool, I'll spread this on it, and then I'm going to add in I'm going to sprinkle some chopped walnuts on top. And this is basically to consistency, so you don't want to pour all that milk in all of a sudden, because it might make it a little bit too runny. So we're just going to keep doing this until it's the consistency that I want to spread it. Okay. Okay, a little bit more. Get a little bit more milk there. I always put a little sign by it telling people there's nuts on the top of it, the walnuts. By the way, it looks so nice in my little dough-on baking dish. I love it. Their stuff is so nice. But I saw one of the people from Dough-On let me know that they have a lot of the things at Walmart now, which is kind of cool. Okay. See the consistency of that? See there? Okay. I'm gonna get, and this batch of frosting will make just enough for one cake, one 9x13, or you know, really, if you're gonna do a cake that stacks, you know, the two rounds, you probably will need a little bit more to go in between them, but this is perfect for the top of a 9x13. Alright, this is doing good. I think it's so handy to have these mixes, because I just thought, oh, I need to take something tomorrow, and I was able just to grab a mix and get going. Okay, that looks perfect. I'm going to show you. Look at that. Let me taste it. Oh. Oh, so good. Okay, so I'm going to let the cake cool. I'm going to let this sit. And then I'm going to bring you back after I'll frost it. And then I'll bring you back before I put the walnuts on it. And by the way, I think I've shown you this before, but I will buy the big bags of nuts like pecans and walnuts and almonds. I buy those like at Costco in the great big bag. Then I measure out 1 cup measures, and I vacuum seal them, and I store them in the freezer. This way I can keep the nuts fresh in the freezer and just pull out small amounts as I need them. Never really need more than a cup. So that's what I do. And then I'm going to put it in my little chopper. You fill it in here. If you turn this, it says coarse or fine. If I can find this, I'll put it down in the description or in my, I'll put a link. But see how it will chop those really nicely. Nice little sprinkles on the top. Okay, so I'm going to come back when the cake's cool and I'm ready to put my walnuts on it. Okay guys, the cake is cool and the frosting is thick, and this is going to be awesome. I'm just going to put the frosting across the top of the cake. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some crushed walnuts, chopped walnuts on top. And this is going to be a lovely cake for our little party. It's going to be nice. And it looks great in this baking dish. You know, you look at a baking dish like this and you might think, oh, lasagna or casserole. But why not use these pretty baking dishes like this for a cake? It smells so good, I can't wait. This is going to be so yummy. I like to make sure I get all along the sides. And so you can see how this recipe, which I'll have written down in the description, is just the right amount for one 9 by 13 cake. And so I like it. And I love having the cake mix. Now the regular cake mix, you could add all your spices to it and make it like a spice cake if you wanted. I'm not any kind of a professional cake froster here, but I don't think anybody's going to care when they taste it, and it's so good. I want to make sure I get all the way to the edges, nice and even, so it's not super thick in the middle. And get that off the side. There we go. Okay, you can kind of feel how it evens out there. Perfect. Okay. There we go. I think that'll be it. I could get into it just sitting here getting this frosting all over. Okay, that looks good. Now I want to try to wipe those off. Hold on a sec. Okay, I only got a paper towel and kind of wiped around the edges. Now I'm going to take my little chopped nuts out of here and sprinkle them over the top. Put a lot of them. I like a lot of nuts on there. So there you have it. The chocolate cake from the Master Cake Mix that you saw me make yesterday. You see how great it can be to have these little cakes in your pantry for when you have to make something quick, or just something easy, or something just spur of the moment that you feel like you got a sweet tooth. Okay, there you go. So there is my cake. I hope you guys check it out. I hope you're making the mixes and I hope you like them. And if you do anything different than I did here that makes an awesome cake, be sure and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.